All right, let's still stay with that story and bring in Byron Odera. He's joining us from our I&M studio in town, ex-Special Forces. Byron, thank you so much for joining us. You have a group of heavily armed Ethiopian forces, over 50 to be precise, and they come in 10 cars armed. What are your thoughts about that, and putting in mind that government officials say they had no idea that these people were even there? Byron, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Byron, we're looking at this story about Ethiopian soldiers crossing into Kenya. Of course, at Marsabit, you have a group of heavily armed soldiers, about 50 of them. They came in about 10 cars. They went into a police station, took over the police station, took pictures, and then left without giving any explanation. What are your thoughts on that particular incident in Marsabit?
Okay, without going into the intricacies and the complexities of the bilateral agreements between the nations, I'd like to say there's been a cordial and very friendly relationship between the two governments, dating back to the first government, and this ideally shouldn't be interpreted as an act of aggression. Isolated as it might seem, people may have different thoughts about it, but I'd like to say that it shouldn't also escape the information that's given to the general public as to our preparedness to inform them accordingly as to when and where such take place, and prevent any misinformation on the part of the public, and anything that could be misinterpreted in such light.
Byron, here's the thing. I know there are agreements between probably these two nations, but you have soldiers. They walk into your territory. They do not speak to anyone. They take pictures. They go back to their country. You have a county commissioner who says, I do not know, I was not aware that these people are supposed to come in. So essentially, let's focus on protocol. Assuming they even had reason to come into Kenya, what would be the protocol for them to come in and do whatever it is they wanted to do, assuming they wanted to gather information, take pictures? What would be the protocol?
Okay. At the strategic level, you would expect a lot of relationship in terms of passage and information. You'd expect the Foreign Affairs Ministry to be involved in such a matter. It would go down obviously all the way to the military, and right down at the tactical level where you have the county commissioner's involvement, the basic police stations, the people that are obviously on border patrols, and stuff like that. So we could be tempted to imagine there was a breakdown in information. I would want to draw you back to the elements of national power. Military being one of them, you'd be thinking about the national will, where the people come in. And you'd imagine such an effort at having these players be involved. So the protocol at the strategic level could be very intricate, but then you'd expect quite very refined information reaching that particular police station, so there wouldn't be a need for unnecessary confusion. You would be expecting the general public not being in a situation of indecisive fear, which might be the case now. So again, we need to address the way we deal with what you could call information pathology. So the right information getting to the right people at the right time, in the right way. And if it's not, we have historical cases of this having happened in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Byron, you're saying we need to fix how information probably trickles down. We already have security issues on the Kenyan border with Somalia, and now you have Ethiopian forces crossing over. Apparently, this is the third time they're doing this since the beginning of the year. Would you say it's time Kenya started manning its border with Ethiopia?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we have quite a serious problem with regard to the cross-border incursions and the way we have free human traffic, unwanted and warranted. And it's time, obviously, we've had effort at constructing a wall. At the strategic level, obviously, you have a lot of things happening in the background, which may not be open to the public, but obviously needs to be for public consumption, so as to build that kind of awareness, and secondly, confidence in the fact that we are doing everything to take care of our borders, to take care of our interests.
Byron Odera joining us from our I&M studio in town. Byron, thank you so much. Of course, you're focusing on that story where over 50 armed soldiers came into Kenya. They crossed the border, reportedly took over a police station, took pictures, and then they just left. Area leaders say they're not aware these people were even supposed to be there. And of course, this is raising very pertinent security questions. This is a story that we are focusing. We'll keep asking the questions, digging in to find out what exactly happened.